of Guitar Tank, and mine's now live as well. So, we've hyped up tonight on our profiles.
We have.
You and I have been talking about this for a while, since I've been at the hub, about 3 months. We've been discussing sort of the opportunity to talk about fear, because you and I have had to address it a lot in our sort of childhoods, and even now still as well.
Yeah.
So I think everyone can relate to that topic. I think it's a good thing to talk about, and I think it's a great sort of platform, just to try to help people out in terms of overcoming their own fear, and just
100%.
and just trying to move towards their sort of dream outcomes for the next 12 months. So how do you define fear for yourself? How do you define fear over, say, anything else? Like, do you know from the way it feels? Do you know, like, there's sort of like a certain element that sort of comes to it as well? Because I know for my
go.
Oh, because I know from my own experiences that fear can come like that, when someone just you get put on this sort of spot instantly, and if you're not sort of prepared for it, you sort of get thrown into that hecticness, and you kind of do things that aren't aligned to your true personality, just to kind of compromise the fear, to sort of calm yourself down a little bit, and you might jeopardize opportunities, friends, really some horrible things that sort of fear can cause you to do in the heat of
100%
a moment. So
I agree.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I think, look, for me, I'm not too fearful of many things, as strange as that might sound. I have more self-belief in myself than anything else. I believe in absolutely what I can achieve.
What has caused that?
So for me, I was born with a partial facial palsy on the right side of my face, so it's something that basically I was born without nerves, can't smile or basically. And me, ever since a kid, that's always been hard, going to school or fitting in, meeting girls. Anything I've ever done has always been shit scared, basically, because I've always preferred for people not to necessarily want to get to know me, or I prefer to be disliked and being that grumpy guy, because I was scared of what people always thought of me. So one of the hardest things for me is always having a disability, is what it is, and one of the scariest things for me is getting in front of the camera and having these conversations. Jamie's tried to get me to do this for a long time, being that I'm a very passionate entrepreneur, and I really believe in entrepreneurship and pushing yourself to your limits. This is something that I've allowed to control me for so many years, and everything in my life that I've ever done has stemmed from this one disability. It has absolutely conquered me for nearly 30 years of my life. So in order for me to overcome this, I need to get in front of the camera now. We need to push ourselves to be the best we can. And that's basically where we're starting with this tonight. Yeah,
and would you agree that sort of, if you didn't have that challenge, so I like to call it a challenge rather than sort of anything that if you didn't have that challenge, would you be the person you are today? Probably not, because you had to grind it out and constantly push uphill and find sort of a actual approach for it to work. And I think for me, I know for my own challenges, it was a blessing. So I dropped out of high school at the age 16 or 16 because of my speech, and that led me into IT, where I fell in love with keyboards and all that cool stuff. And then I went to get employed, but everyone's like, can you talk to our clients? Can you do help desk? Can you pretty much talk? And that was the reason why I dropped out of high school, was to avoid talking and to always use sort of keyboard as my speech. So I said no to pretty much all companies that were keen to hire me, and I began to learn how to earn an income online, and got my first 2-3 clients, and that grew from there. And I got confidence in my hustle and in my skill set that I didn't let that hold me back anymore. And just through executing past the fear and finding a sort of approach to really use it to an upside, is where I get confidence from that fear as well, because I would not be here doing what I'm doing, I've had 4 previous projects. You've had like 8 or 6. You've had 6 previous projects, and
Yeah.
companies. Yeah.
Yeah.
6. So like we would not be here if we didn't if we didn't find an approach to make it work, you know, and it's that sort of creativity that flows through everything, and you know, flows through our personal brands and through our companies. And I really think if people were to truly embrace their challenges, like, you know, if you've been abused, if you're overweight, if you have a speech problem, whatever it is, learn how to play with it, if that sounds right, and learn how to embrace it and use it as your sort of you know, infinite hub size, so that you can.
And I think that's right, because what other fucking choice do you have?
Yeah, like
What
that's
other
like,
fucking choice
it's
do you
either you have to make it to work, or
Yeah.
like there's literally no other choice.
There's no other choice, and that's what I've done for the last 30 years of my life, is allowed a disability to control who I am. It's a fear of what all of you think of me that has held me back. So the passions and the excitement and the creativity and everything that I have as an entrepreneur is being held back, or as a person, as an individual, as a friend, has been limited because I allow it to, because I'm scared. My fear has controlled me for too long.
And would you agree that, you know, obviously through your last 30 or so years of having this, that it's always 10 times worse in our head than what it actually
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times you learn that and you see that at sort of play, that fear is always there.
Yep.
You know, so I think if you're insecure, if you have a sort of challenge or sort of anything like that, you're always gonna like overplay it, always.
Yep.
Why do you think that is?
Well, this is okay. So I have this thing where even just last night I told a couple of people that obviously I had a disability, and a few people said to me, "Well, I never even noticed it. I never even knew there was anything even wrong with you." But that's
100%,
right?
No one even notices, and you're like, I've spent so much energy just fucking around with it for so long. It's like there was no reason to.
But it's the mental hurdles you put up in your own head. So every single morning when I get up, and it might be the same with you, every single time you might try and say something to someone, it's I don't like who I see, and I know that I'm an okay looking guy. I know I don't have trouble closing deals and doing business. I know when I speak passionately and vibrantly that people are attracted to me, but at the same time I allow the fear of what I feel up here to conquer me.
It's the fear of the fear.
The fear of the fear.
Yeah.
And it's exactly why we're doing this right now, is to push through that and understand that we obviously all have our setbacks and those hurdles that we have to overcome. Now, I can no longer let this control me. I have to conquer this. I know you're probably a lot more progressed down the track of conquering yours than me.
Comes and goes.
It
literally, like, I'm sure you can agree where, like, there's times where you're like, you know what, nothing can hold me down.
Yeah.
And then there's times where you're just like curled up in a ball, and you're like, man, this really blows.
Yeah.
But I know it will pass as well.
So what hardships did you find, obviously, with this? Because that's the thing that people don't understand, especially, and we're trying to cover fear, but we're using our setbacks as an example of that. Hey, we've got something seriously wrong with us, and we're still kicking. So you know what I mean. So those minor fears you have of just maybe I'm not that vibrant, or people might not like what I'm
not as
saying.
outgoing.
I'm not as outgoing.
Like,
I mean, look, at the end of the day, that's not really that big of a deal. When you
to
us, and that's right. You can never compare anyone else's fear or setback to anyone else's, because what is a twig snapping to someone else is the world. All right. So it's really, really important that you don't, sort of compare the two.
That's it.
With you, what were some defining moments that obviously made you go back in your shell a little bit?
My God, every day during like high school was like a sort of walking through a minefield where like I would have to be so careful about what I said so that I didn't get caught up on my speech and that.
Yeah.
And it was just exhausting because you have to overthink and go, well, I can't say that word, so I had to explain some Fugazi story and come back to the point.
Yeah.
It was just like inside high school was the absolute worst. So that's why I obviously dropped out of high school. Going into year 11 and year 12 was like a lot of talking in front of the class, and I was like, I am out for that. So high school, I was like graded for my speech rather than my intellect. So my intellect was not aligned with my speech. And even during high school, like a lot of my friends I had during high school were friends with someone else who wasn't me, because I was saying things that weren't true to me. I was pretending to be someone else so that I wouldn't get caught as much on my words. And, you know, just endless times through social interactions, through even like going out and trying to buy lunch. It's like you can't purchase the food you want unless you can point to, or like go into the shops. And
that's a great point, and that's really interesting, because that is when you're in a social setting and your setback actually prevents you from performing a very simple task. So there you are, just trying to order something, but you know it's in your head, and you're building this fear up more and more and more, and you're thinking, fuck, I just want that sausage roll, but I'm not going to order it because I can't say sausage roll without stuttering. And I totally get that. So one of the hardest things for me is when I go get a coffee or when I go into any store, it's like generally I'll have my sunnies on because I don't want anyone to notice that there's anything wrong with me. So it's those little barriers that we create between those things. You might want that bloody sausage roll, but you're not going to get it. So, you know, I might want to take my sunnies off, but in that situation, I do what feels comfortable for me. At least with what I find hard with my disability is that there's nothing harder than, I mean, people might have laughed at you in the past when obviously you started or things like that. And that hurts, and that builds on that. For me, I might be giving someone direct eye contact and having a conversation, and that person feels so uncomfortable that they actually turn away. And that's actually like soul destroying for anyone dealing with a fear, right? So here I am trying to reach out to people and connect with people and genuinely be passionate and get that across. And every single time I do that and have an interaction with someone, I have to be concerned that that person's going to feel so uncomfortable that they're actually going to look away from me. So you have to build up that courage within yourself to actually continue and keep going. And that's whether it's life or business or anything else. That's it. You're gonna get a lot stronger from doing that.
And in terms of the fear that, or in terms of the things that kind of trigger it, for me, I learned over the last 6 years that it gets triggered from me having expectations on the current situation, like me going into a certain interaction trying to be fluent, like, you know, trying to impress a certain person, you know, as opposed to just being my absolute self and being happy with myself. I think self-love is underrated. I think if there's anything that someone should practice, it is hanging photos of themselves in their house. Literally, love yourself and
that's more than anyone, I love myself. I'm one of the most confident and outgoing guys. I have so much self-belief, but at the same time, I hate what I fucking see when I get up every day. And it's that fear of 30 years of that self-doubt and that fear of what everyone thinks. I've allowed that to build up in my head.
However, you've over the last few years, you've probably seen little insights as to people don't really care. And it's like, how many of those insights can you collect of proof that people don't actually care?
And, well, that's exactly the point. Yeah, that's a great point, because what everyone's doing is everyone's concerned about everyone else's fear, right? So what you think of me. So you're concerned what everyone's going to think of you. I'm concerned what everyone's thinking of me. Most people are in their own little bubbles. We're in our own little fear bubbles. Of themselves. So concerned about ourselves that they don't even notice what the fuck.
100%.
They're probably thinking, hey, I hope he doesn't notice what's wrong with me.
So what I did, I'll tell you a quick little story, is I did a speech camp in 2013, really helped out. And part of that on the third afternoon was to go out in Sydney and go talk to 100 strangers. I was like, not only that, but purposely be like, and just but they made us do it. And you went for the first 20, and you're like, people literally stand there and are patient and wait, they don't care. And it teaches you that all this stress and drama was all in your head. So if you can create those, proofs that people don't care, consistently go out and seek that people don't care. And you train at the gym, right? So when
I hit the weights, I'm sure you won't notice.
When someone overweight, trains near you, you don't care. You're like, holy shit, man, keep going. You are so proud of that person. But to the person who is overweight, in their mind, they're probably freaking out. They probably have this fear that everyone's looking at them and judging. But I'm like, 100%. I feel inspired when someone triple my size comes in and is training. I'm like, dude.
But on that, let's be honest. People do stare at the gym. It's a little bit weird.
They do.
They just stare at you like, dude, what the fuck are you looking at? Not interested. Thank you.
But
you do get it.
Yeah, but the extra point is, try to create those proofs that no one really cares about you and about your sort of problem, and go out and actively try to create them. So for you, it, you know, could be like leaning into people's faces as much as you can till you're like an inch away from their nose.
Yeah,
like,
no, probably not.
Or like for me, it's like, you know, if I feel insecure, I might go and do a public speech somewhere and just do the most fearful thing that I can, and just prove to myself it was easy. You know, like I might have had some blocks, but I pushed through it, and everyone enjoyed my, you know, content and that. So whenever you feel fear about a certain insecurity or some problem, just go out and actively look for those proofs that, you know, no one really does care.
No one does care, And I mean, look, and that's, but that you're the one who's put the hurdles up in your own head, and you're the person who has to conquer them. And the only way you're going to conquer the hurdles that you have created is to lean into those fears. Is to
lean into those fears. I love that phrase.
Right. So you're there to confront what you have created. You are the creator of your fears.
That is true.
So I mean, and this is why I'm here right now. I am shit scared to be doing this right now. I don't want to be judged. At the same time, I don't give a fuck what you think, but I hate that I have a disability, and that's something that I've created.
A challenge.
A challenge. Look, well,
whatever
you want to call it. Well, that's the thing. No, but see, I don't like sugarcoating it. At the end of the day,
fair enough.
it's a disability. I'm never going to be normal. I'm never going to be the same as everyone else, and I have to accept that. And part of me going all in on myself and confronting this and having this conversation, and this being the start of my journey, this being my start of 50 people and having my stuttering little conversations, is that I get in front of this camera and I start to do this because I have too much passion and creativity to share with the world. And if I am sitting in a room by myself, locked away, as I have done, you know, keeping to myself, still obviously working to be a normal person, not a weirdo locked away there, but
in the mountains growing a beard.
Yeah, in the mountain growing a beard. We have to embrace our fears in order to be the best versions of ourselves. So the creativity and the passion and the excitement and the vibrantness and everything that is about us as a person and a human being needs to be pushed to its absolute limits every day. And the only thing that holds us back is the fear of that which we have created in our own head.
The fear of the fear.
The fear of the fear.
Literally, like, whatever your fear is or your sort of insecurity, if you were to blindly ignore that for a week and just act as if you didn't have it, you would be surprised what could happen. Like, I know for myself, not always, but you know, there's been some times where I have just pushed through it like an absolute madman and like had cold calls, like me cold calling and having blocks on the phone, but just being just push through it. And what I think is very powerful is to completely own it. You know, so whenever I do a like speech or some class or, you know, anything that has sort of a attachment to the outcome, I almost try to not screw up my perception of the crowd to me, but more so go, hey guys, I have a speaking impediment. If I get blocked, that's fine. Just wait half a minute or 2 minutes, whatever, and you know, I will push through it because the content is really, really good, right? So just addressing that, and literally, people are like, oh, cool, you know, because then they don't feel awkward because it's like something, you know, unexpected, and you don't feel awkward because everyone's on the same, you know, playing field, and sort of everyone is conscious that, you know, that is now out there, that no one has to try to ignore. Because I think when you try to ignore your sort of problems, I know for like myself, whenever I tried to hide it, it's just when it blew out of control. Because you had that anxiety, you had that pressure, you're like, what if someone finds out?
This is interesting because you say that because, you know, you're further down the rabbit hole than I, and that's, you know, this is my first time ever doing this. He's taken my Facebook Live virginity.
I love it. I'm so proud.
And so, but that's exactly right. Anxious as fuck. You know what I mean? Scared, hiding away, not sharing who I possibly can be because I'm so scared of what everyone might think. So I'm right at that. This is day one for me.
It's fantastic.
It's yeah. So I mean, the point of it though is to confront those fears. That's absolutely what we need to do.
That's it. And how do you suggest people begin confronting them? Like, obviously, if you're, you know, afraid of heights, you shouldn't just go pop out of a plane. You should probably work up towards it, or like.
I've done it twice, and I'm shit scared of heights.
You're a machine.
And the first time, long story short, I went when I was 13. It's just for 14.
Is that legal?
It is. It was in Cairns. And the second time we went up, the parachute didn't open. Well, it tangled, And after doing it the first time, I knew we were in trouble. And the guy's spinning, trying to get us out of the free fall. And I screamed, I'm like, dude, are we all right? And he goes, hang on,
casual.
give me a second. Well, you know, you've got that euphoric sort of thing as you're falling. And he said, hang on. He pulled the chute, we're all good. Got back down the editing room later. I said, well, were we all right? And he goes, nah, dude, that was pretty bad. we were like literally a couple of seconds away from cutting that chute and going to the emergency.
Wow, full on.
That was a good one.
Wow, but you survived it, and you're here still, right? And so sort of some some tips about people, or some sort of tricks.
You've got to self-audit who you are.
Oh my god, that is amazing! I love that self-audit.
Self-audit who you are and what you want. Okay, if you want this big thing, all right. If you want average, it doesn't matter what your end goal is. Figure out what you want. And then figure out the fears blocking you in order to get to that result. Okay? I want big in my life.
I'm going to write that down. That's so good.
I want big in my life. I know where I want to go down my entrepreneurial path, my passion in helping entrepreneurs, in inspiring entrepreneurs. That is what excites me. That's what's passionate to me. But I have a fear of a disability that I've created in my own head of what you all think of me. So until I can overcome this fear in order to get in front of this camera, I'm not going to be able to do that. This is literally day one for me down that path.
It's fantastic.
I've come to a point in my life where I've realised that I'm not going to hide away anymore. I need to get in front of the camera. I need to get in front of people, and I need to speak passionately and openly so I can be the confident version of myself.
How do you feel now?
Well, you know me. Whenever I'm talking passionately and going
feel
for
good.
it, I feel good.
You feel amazing.
Yeah.
And I think it's not because you're just talking passionately. I think it's because you've like lent into your problem and you've pushed through it regardless. So you've got, assuming you feel a sense of pride, achievement to some degree, because it is your first time live, and you're doing what you want to do. Like, you are literally doing what you want to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that is the best feeling in the world, is when you have that ultimate congruency in this is who I am, this is who I would like the world to see me as, and that aligns.
Yeah.
Fucking powerful stuff. Like, if you can create that every day, you can literally do anything in any industry. So you're saying for people to self-audit their fear and themselves.
Yeah.
I like that. Can you give me an example of like how someone would sort of apply that?
Self-audit themselves.
Well,
I think so that's where look, and I know a lot of people are going to turn around and say, look, I don't know what I want to do. Okay, I don't know where my end goal is. I hear that all the time. I'm not sure what I want to do in my life. I'm not sure where I'm going to go. That's fine. Okay. What do you want to do every single day? What excites you? Focus on that, okay? That's step one, all right? Now, what is holding you back from achieving that excitement, that happiness, that passion, okay? That's what I would focus on. Whether it's, I want to be really fit, I'll stop eating shit. Like, I mean, let's be serious, do you know what I mean? Like, that's a really, small example. But, for me, it's like, I've got a big goal and there's lots of little wins. Life is about celebrating the little wins. You've got a big goal. You've got something really massive that you're trying to achieve. You're not going to get there day one. It's idiotic to think you are. So by creating little successes every single day, little habits, unusual behaviour that then becomes habit is no longer unusual behaviour. You and I now get habit. Yeah. It becomes a habit. Waking up at 4 a.m. every single morning, that's fucking crazy.
He keeps beating me.
I do. I beat
by like 3 or 4 minutes. I see his Snapchat. I'm like,
I was thinking I should probably get up at 3 o'clock now. Just so you don't get up before me, man.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, you have to take massive action. You have to step up and you have to go.
You can't let your fears hold you down, because at the same time, if you have skill and you have talent to give and you're allowing your fears to sort of hold you back, you're limiting not only your own life, but of your clients and your customers and your friends and like the people who like you could be helping and
Okay, I think that's a great point. So what of your fears has held you back relationship wise? Now that doesn't have to just be with a partner. It could be with a friend or with family. But
oh my god,
I know personally for me it's affected me massively in that area. So I would love to know what of your fear of that yourself has held you back in a relationship.
Well, that's it. Well, look, I mean, through growing up as a little child, large child,
somewhere around there,
I obviously tried to avoid talking as much as I could, even to my mom and my mum, like
Really?
everyone.
Okay.
Always. I had no idea why. I think it was a habit that was created during high school during primary school and high school, because that's where a kid spends a lot of their time every day, right?
Yep.
So I sort of created this habit where I was very much of a sort of introvert, and if I did talk, it was always very calculated, and it was always very cautious, and it didn't ever feel too real. And I think because of that, I've created surface level relationships accidentally. Because you can't be congruent as a child. So then, if I was to do it now, I don't know.
I love that. That explains so many of my relationships are at best surface level relationships. And it's because of the fear that we had. Like, it's literally not the person or like what they did. We're the fucked up ones. You know?
It is, and that for me was a huge one, and I'm still facing it now, but I kind of like it now. I've learned to embrace it, because as a sort of entrepreneur, you need to move quick. So
you're disconnected.
You do, and that
100%.
Again plays to the strength of the. If I didn't have this, maybe I would be out drinking every single night, because I would be very social, you know. And it's kind of like.
That's
for
great.
me, it all adds up. Like, look for the blessing in the obstacle, because you're going to find that unfair advantage, guaranteed. Like, if it's a year from now, or for me, it took like about 22 years. It took me to like find how to use that properly, and it's only just paying off now. And honestly, I would not ever want to lose it, because it's part of me, and it makes me weird and unique and sort of quirky. And
see, that's great, because I can't smile on one side of my face, most of the time I just look like I'm pissed off. And with a beard...
He looks like he's so serious. He's like, he's here to do business. I love it.
So, you know, you're right. And in order to embrace it, there's times where I'll be going to the petrol station and people will actually step out of my way and say, "You first, sir." So there's always benefits to having something wrong.
There is. And what did I say before? And so when you begin to be conscious of it, and you begin to embrace your sort of obstacles and your sort of challenges, you know, look for the advantage. Like, look how you can apply this to sort of every area, and just own it. Like, if it's not anything which you can correct, if it's something that might take years to correct, I mean, I'm sure if I tried over years and years, I probably could become fluent. But I like how I talk. It is very quirky, and it kind of creates that sort of character. And the most important thing for me is that if I can push through it, and then I'm upfront about it, then who else can I inspire to then push through their fears?
And that 100%, I love that. I love that. And that's because that's 100% where I'm at, is that, you know, the way in which I see myself is when I look in a mirror, I hate what I fucking see, and I only see a disability. And I see literally like just horrible. And I know that's what I see, but the point of that is, if I can overcome that fear and be the best version of myself, how many people can I inspire by saying that, listen, you're just scared of talking to people? Or,
that's me.
You know,
that's me. That is 100% me.
All right. So it's I have a physical disability in which some people feel uncomfortable talking to me, and therefore that, like I said, when people look away from you, there's even a story where when I first started my business, I went down to ANZ Marion, right, and organised a consultation to set up my bank account. Now, one of my brothers worked at Combank at the time, and for no other reason than he was in the state, he said, "Listen, I will come with you, and I'll just attend it." You know, being him, he's quite loud and boisterous, and wanted to sort of dominate the meeting. And so, you know, he's talking to her and back and forth, and then when she handed over the keypad for me to put in my details, she actually raised her voice and said, "Okay, I just need you to put your password in here and type."
I've had that so many times. My God.
And as someone that like is completely able-bodied beside a small disability, like that fucking hurts your soul.
It rips you apart.
You get that for 20, 25, 30 years of your life, where someone actually thinks you're mentally disabled, is not a good fucking feeling.
It's not.
And that's the sort of stuff that we encounter that only fuels the fire of the fear we have of ourselves.
Yeah, but it also feels sort of, I'm going to use the term aggression to like push through it and then to sort of prove them and go, you know what, just because I'm not, sort of fluent, I am purposely going to film blogs and show you what I can do, So I think, look, just to kind of close up this,
Yep.
I think, people should own it. I think they should look for the unfair advantage. I think they should use it as a fuel to like actually, work harder and to, sort of prove everyone incorrect. Although, as we were talking about previously, no one really cares. So
what would you say? So we talked about obviously this being confronting your fears, obviously in 2017.
Yeah.
So here we are. It's a brand new year. Everyone has the fears that are holding them back every single
Insecurities,
year.
fears.
Right?
Yep.
So what advice are you going to give to them right now regarding confronting their fears and going all in?
Lean into it. Like whatever you're afraid of doing, do that thing. Like if someone had a handgun to your head and said, "What is the right thing to do?" Right now, you would know. What would you say?
I would run. If someone had a gun to my head and said, "What's the right thing to do?"
I would disarm it.
Run.
I would disarm it, but that's just me. But what is the right thing to do right now? Everyone knows what the answer is, regardless of their fear or their sort of insecurities or their problems. Everyone knows the thing they should be doing that they do not want to do to get to where they want to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And most of the times, it is just it's just fear. It's very rarely a sort of skill set or like how to actually do it, because now there's so much information out there. It's very rarely
you can do anything.
it's very rarely a actual skill set. It's more or less when you get down to it, it's like, what are you afraid of? Who are you afraid of failing in front of? And like what is your fear?
Embrace failure. Like I have fucked up so many times. There's people watching this right now that are probably thinking to me, Jesus, this guy used to piss up like an idiot only 6, 7, 8 years ago.
I didn't say that.
I got suspended from school 30 times. Teachers used to kick me out and tell me to drop out of school. Do you know what I mean? So, but I kept pushing and I kept persevering, and here I am as the person I am, and now continually pushing myself every single year to be a better version of myself. My growth game is strong. And I keep getting better. My growth game is strong.
I feel like that should be on a shirt. My growth game is strong.
It probably is.
Can someone make that for me? Whoever's like watching, just make me a shirt. Like,
but yeah, I think we need to get to a point as any individual where we audit ourselves, self-audit where you want to go and who you want to be. Okay, what are the little wins that you need to tick off along the way in order to get you to that goal? This is one of the little wins that I need to do in order to get me to the big goal that I'm trying to achieve.
And also figure out what it is that is holding you back, and just lean into it. Like, that's like all that I can say is like, there's no special, journal or like special prayer that maybe gives some extra confidence, but when it comes down to it, just lean into it. Like, that's all it comes down to is just to lean into it 100%.
I agree.
So, any questions before we close up and go and face our fears?
Yeah, you got a few more, man. Yeah.
Cool. Someone said,
So I can't. I don't have my computer.
Yeah, that's why
on the phone.
That's why I have a computer. Challenges can often be blessings in disguise. 100% agree. Once you figure that out, but blessings can still hurt. Like mine's a blessing, but it still hurts consistently every now and then. But I don't hate it. I'm like, that hurts a lot, but I know where I know where it has brought me to.
And is this your mate Sinclair Robbie?
Yeah.
I want a sausage roll. Go get that sausage roll. You've earned that sausage roll.
One thing that I would like to show in terms of this topic, which actually I have on me conveniently, not by choice or not planning it. Really good book on sort of owning obstacles and using them to using them to create a really good upside. So, Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Phenomenal book. I've flicked through it about 20 times on audio, and I've just brought the physical version now. So
beautiful.
That's it from us. Thank you. And that was a good collaborative conversation.
It was lovely.
Looking forward to seeing everyone overcome their fears. Looking forward to hearing about how you push through it and just blindly walk that strange, scary path every single day.
Awesome, guys.